let me know.
Go, man. Go live now. Go. Boom.
Yeah, as we all know, I can't take full credit for D-Vasive. I mean, there is a big master coder at work there by the name of Lou Franco, who has become my brother. Um, he's just he's just the most amazing coder. Whatever idea I could come up with, he'd make it happen. You know, um, if he ever had any problems, he would talk it out with me, and we would troubleshoot things and work it out together, logistics wise, and we would overcome them. And I'm just very privileged to have such a gifted partner to work with. He's the best in my opinion. He's the best.
And this is the obvious question that leads to, and it was kind of the question I was going to really kind of ask you. But to kick this off again, really, it's a dual part. I mean, how did your paths cross with Lou? And equally, how did you come across the name, or how did you get to the name D-Vasive? I mean, I mention this because I know trying to sort of, you know, brand anything or name anything is a very difficult process, whether you're a musician in a band or you're trying to name an artwork or anything or an app or anything. So it's just sort of a dual question, really. I mean, how did both your paths cross with Lou, and again, how did you sort of come across the name D-Vasive, man?
It was through a forum, believe it or not, and it was a Digital Point forum, and that's mainly a forum where web developers, SEO experts, different tech fields go to get advice from different people within the industry. And I had started my second company, which was a web development design company at the time, and I was finding the whole backlinking to Google SEO as being pretty ridiculous because I was able to defeat it um, by doing simple techniques, and I presented that onto the forum, and it struck Lou's attention, and we struck up conversation from there, and just he showed me a different side of the industry as far as click share, rev shares, traffic volume, um, things of that nature. And then I was able to present design skill, um, vision, just different aspects to where it was sort of like if I may not offend anybody by saying that he was the Steve Wozniak and I was the Steve Jobs type. I was the visionary. He was the person to actually make it and make it work. Put it together, and it's a perfect fit. It really is.
And again, I mean, how did you come across? I mean, what made you come across, think of the name D-Vasive?
The name, well, obviously, the opposite of devasive would be invasive. So the invasive apps that are asking for too many permissions, like a regular flashlight app that would be asking for, your location or your contact list or things of that nature. I mean, where it doesn't need anything of that to function. So we find that to be invasive. So to combat against that, we thought the name devasive. Actually, Lou thought of devasive. So that's another thing he thought of, which was very good. I mean, when he presented this idea to me, it was it was a rudimentary form, but it was a great idea. It was an app that notified you when your camera and your mic was no accessed, and it beeped or it vibrated, and that was the start of it. And man, has it transformed and grown. And now we have the PC platform, which is even more powerful, where you're able to whitelist and blacklist apps and give them certain privileges from accessing your devices if you want. Like Skype, if it accesses your camera and you don't want to be constantly notified that your camera's being accessed, you can give it permission and whitelist it so it's got that permission now, or blacklist it so where it will never be able to get access to your camera ever again.
Again, I mean, as I said before, I'd urge anybody that's listening to this, and anybody out there to straight away, go and do as much research as possible, and it, basically install it on their whatever devices they're using. So, I mean, you're the perfect man to speak to. I mean, so I mean, let's go right back to the very start of this. I mean, where can people find, you know, where to sort of even to pick up the app and stuff like that? I mean, let's talk about, if I was just coming to you as someone just heard about the whole products and the app and stuff. I mean, talk me through about how I can install it on my phone.
Well, you can go to D-Vasive.com. Of course, that's D-Vasive, VASIVE.com. And you can have the links to the PC platform, or you can go to the Google Play Store and download it from there. And don't forget about the other important products out there that help protect your privacy on the Future Tense Central website. That's futuretensecentral.com. They have a variety of products such as Black Cert. We're very familiar with
Mm-hmm.
Human Saw. They already have something out there that's called has something to do with fetal beats, I believe, which is something completely out of the box thinking. It's not centered toward anything privacy related, but it definitely has something to raise an eyebrow toward being the first in innovative ideas. So I would definitely check out Future Tense Central to see the new products out there, and definitely see something out there to protect your privacy as far as SSL certificates, Android mobile devices, PC platforms, file sharing, privacy. It's definitely a needed commodity in today's society. So get it.
Yeah, man. I mean, again, my question would be: is this available in every part of the world, or is there certain start parts of the areas of the world that put blocks on this? And again, has this been? Have you, I mean, it's only something again. It's something we come across all the time. And I think it's really aware that we got to always be aware that we're speaking, English to English people, but there's a lot of people in this world that don't even understand a word of English. So again, would this be would this would the Vasive be available in Spanish? I mean, and again, is it available everywhere in the world, or are you aware that there's certain, you know, areas that restrict, even to even pick up the app?
Well, as far as language translation, we're limited to what we can do. We're a two-man, we're two people. And honestly, Lou and I, we're blue collar workers. I mean, this is something we do as a passion, but we're not making any type of profit from, so we can't do full time and profit from. I mean, me, I, service and clean septic tanks for a living. That's how I bring in my cash flow. My business partner, he does construction. He's well versed in laying tile, carpentry work and that nature. That's how he brings in his money. So when it comes to Devasive, it's not a bread maker by far. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we are not making money off this. So when it comes to being able to put extra time into the translations and adding additional features to like the scheduler that we've added. That's things that we would love to do in the future when hopefully we have more funding and able to bring on more hands.
Well, this is where the synergy, and I think the where we are in the we touched upon it earlier on in the last podcast. Where we are in this moment in time is that the synergy comes in the fact that there's a lot of, as I'm aware of, and I'm sure you are. There's solutions coming from every angle, and like you mentioned, there's Enoch there who's building Demon Saw, which is an absolute you know, that again, that's another huge step along the way of where we want to get to. And then, you know, I was just, like I say earlier on tonight, I was just speaking to John who's doing Black Cert again. These are, and then yourself again, and like I say, I fly the flag for MaidSafe and Safe Network. And I think the synergy of where I'm trying to say all these solutions coming in there, just as nature does, they're all starting to converge because they're all going to, you know, our compasses are all pointing in the same, roughly the same direction. And I think
Yeah.
the synergy between where what you just said there and what you just mentioned then is exactly what drives, you know, and we're almost exactly the same position. I mean, and it's just me, and I've got a guy over in Daniel over in San Francisco who's part of the pod over there, and it's just, there's not, you know, we're not all millionaires floating around as the money. Hello, you know, it's just all very small, like you, grassroots ability. But the synergy comes in the fact of what drives us is, you know, what drives particularly us in N99. I'm the whole drive of what I've always done is like, creative people should be rewarded directly for their content they produce, whether that's an app, whether it's a piece of artwork, whether it's a piece of music or anything else. And the whole concept of what I love, the mind-blowing thing that really kind of got me excited about the Safe Network was the ability, because it's no middleman at all, it's just P2P and on the network, and it's a completely decentralized, secure network, that any content you put up, you'll get completely rewarded for, because people are going to, you know, obviously put in they're coming to get it, and the network rewards people who are building up, you know, people who want to come and trust you for what you're seeing. So what it means is that you can suddenly distribute all the issues that you're talking about, that I just mentioned then, about how things like the translation stuff, because you can plug into a greater network, which is a great thing. And equally, it's going to give opportunities for people like yourself and what you're doing to go, okay, I'll put this up on a network like this, and we can just get instantly paid directly for anybody who uses it and sees it. And then it means, oh great, I'm sitting there thinking this is how it should be. Then I'm thinking, great, because I don't want to live in a world, man. I'm not being in it, and I don't mean this in the wrong way, man, because I think there's a, if we're going to get really quite deep at it, I think there's a zen in doing manual work. So I'm not sitting here from any kind of like hearty-farty position, but you know, I'd much rather live in a world where I'm thinking, do you know what? Old John's over there, not having to, you know, clean out septic tanks, but he's been, you know, he's getting rewarded for the content he's producing, and then that gives you the ability to free yourself out of the debt of money, and then you can start thinking, take the weight off your shoulder, and you can start exploring things. And that's what I think the synergy between the Safe Network and what you're doing is. And it's just basically, we're all, these things are all there to help each other and push things and stuff like this. And that's why I fly the flag for Safe Network, and I'm fascinated to know. And I asked EJ the same thing when I spoke to him about Demon Saw, because that's how our paths crossed with me and EJ. He'd obviously come out on the Safe Forum and mentioned that he was living obviously Rockstar and everything. So again, I mean, and I asked him about this. I mean, how aware you or the people around you about what's been built in with the Safe Network? Because I think the thing is I think it's a real game changer for people like us, because it's like I just tried to explain very briefly before, it gives us the opportunity to fund ourselves without any middlemen and without any, you know, kind of corporations or anybody. It's just a direct access, you know. And I'm just wondering how much traction, if at all, it's making in the worlds that you mix with.
Well, I have mixed feelings about it, to be honest with you. I mean, I wish that we were able to reach more people, you know, with our products. I mean, it just seems like the I hate to speak frankly, you know, quite frankly, but the more the time goes on, these new generations, man, they're just fucking stupid and they just don't really care. To be honest with you, it's just I see the things that they're interested in. It's mind-boggling, to be honest with you. And the people who are like, I have nothing to hide, you know, I don't care, you know, what's being spied upon me, or I don't care, you know, if the NSA or big companies read my email. But you have to question, you know, would you care if people in combat gear, you know, break down your front door without probable cause or a search warrant? You know, would you care then? Because that's basically what they're doing with your information. You know, that's basically what they're doing with your life. Is they're just peeping in without you knowing. and they can very easily switch on your webcam or turn on your mic and listen to what's going on within your household.
Hmm.
Or if you're traveling in your car, turn on your cam or your mic on your phone while you're traveling in your car with your loved one or your family. It's just ridiculous. So, you know, when it comes to being able to network, what it is, it's a movement, and it's a movement of people who've had enough and who are fighting back, know, and it's good that we have the internet to help spread the knowledge or spread the means of what we've created to the people that actually care to protect their privacy, because there are people out there who care, and the people who understand the importance of privacy and who actually care are the ones who make it rewarding for us, because they're the ones who come back and they thank us and they give us so much praise on what we've done, and they understand the sacrifices that we made, the time that it's taken and the work involved. I mean, this isn't it's not an easy task, but the challenge is part of the passion about it. So, I mean, it's it's what we love. It's what we love to do.
It is not. I think this is one of the things. I think why these types of conversations are really crucial between people, because I mean, we are generally on the we're just generally outsiders. I'm sure by if we got into a longer conversation, we're probably. I mean, I can speak for myself. I've been an outsider all my life, and I've always looked at the edge of society, and I think, okay, and I've always had this urge to sort of fix all the little cracks and the holes around the things, which I think is just ridiculous. So I think one of the things about being an outsider, though, and like you just describing then, is that we become kind of almost. It's very easy to become disillusioned, because we do. It's easy to sort of say, man, the amount of stupid people are breeding, they're breeding at a ridiculously fast rate, and you realise, like, I mean, how many people are who I think this is a perfect definition. I mean, I know damn well. I always try to surround myself by people who are far more intelligent, because I know very little. But that's what separates me. I know that I don't know very little. The amount of people I'm surrounded by, people who think they know it all, and you're like, that's a definition of stupid. You don't know it all. And as much as we're on the outside, the point I'm trying to make, as much as we're on the outside and we see things, and it's easy to become disillusioned. What I try to tell you, I think it's really important. I think that's why these conversations are important. That, for instance, since I've been flying the flag for what we've been doing with this, man, the amount of bands and creative people who are just overwhelming me, and they love all this. And that's what I'm trying to say. I describe it as like there's a desert at the moment, and right now it all looks very barren. But underneath, I'm sure you're aware, there's a lot of creativity out there. There's a lot of people that, if you just set them free and you gave them choices, and that's what I think you stepping and what you've done is really revolutionary, because it gives people again, it's this whole push towards understanding about connecting to people in a private manner, and once people understand that, and once they start to realize it, and they you were alluding to earlier on, and then they start to realize how many middlemen they are, and then they understand it all, and then that's why they get excited. But the trouble is, when we're on the outside, we don't see that. We just think, oh man, everyone's just caught away, and like you were saying earlier on, everyone's. If you were an alien species and you're looking down at the planet now, and you were doing a survey of human beings, it'd be like, who's the most famous woman on the planet? And as you said earlier on, Kim Kardashian. Now there's something instinctively wrong there, but equally, there's so much creativity out there, and that's what gives me optimism, because I think that it's people like yourselves and as I said, Egypt Demon Store, and so many other people that are just building pathways towards a new world, and I think that's why I try to be really optimistic. That's why I think these conversations are important, because as I said before, that you know there's people out there you'll never meet, and I know this. This is in recent conversations, because obviously prior to this, I was doing my research on it, And the amount of people were just like, "Wow, I love that. That's a perfect device," and I'm gonna get up on my phone and stuff like that. And that's what it's about. This is the power of, they can the power of word of mouth.
Yeah, no doubt. I noticed how you kept referring to being an outsider. That's something, I think we're all together. We're all inside. We're all together in this, and us as a society, we need to start looking at our similarities and not our differences. And that's something that whoever has designed, whoever was the brilliant mind to design our society has thought up was how to create different classes to divide us all. Because
Mm.
you know how the old rule is divide and conquer. So we have
Hmm.
so many divisions in society, when it comes to religion, politics, financial, sexes, I mean, everything, color, race, what clothes you wear, fashion. Um, so instead of looking at our differences, we need to look at our similarities, and that's how you come together and you really take control and beat this thing, beat this system, beat big corporate government, uh, just get back to our roots of privacy and get our security back and stand up for what's right and take back what's ours. I mean, this belongs to us. This is our life. You know, um, God gave us the right to have our privacy. At least that's what I was brought up to believe.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think that's. I mean, this is a powerful element about what you're doing with device, and what the whole everything what we're standing up for. What the powerful thing about it is that they can't do anything about people just walking away, and it's kind of like, yep, I know you're going to watch me, so what do you know what I do? I find a solution and I walk away, and now you can't watch me, and that it's so powerful that there's nothing they can do without actually getting us wired into our brains and actually doing some that kind of stuff on it. We've all got the most powerful machines, and this is where I think we are in the point of civilization. It's almost like the dual sides. We've got one side of the world that are just obsessed with, like you say, Kim Kardashian and what she's wearing on a daily basis, and yet on the other side of the balance is up. We've got this going on, and where we are now, I swear to God, man, people are going to look back in 20 years' time, and if we get there, and we're not wiped out by an asteroid or the whole, we're not. It doesn't all collapse. We don't all go to war or something. But if we do get to 20 years' time, future generations are going to look back and go, man, so many people lived through the greatest days and they didn't even recognize it. And that's where we are right now. We know that we recognize it and we know it's the right thing. And that's, like I said, I think where, where where it's really powerful steps along the way, and this is where I really do want to fly the flag for what you're doing and stuff, and because I think we need to really get the concept of we are privacy and we have a right to our own thoughts and our own private thing, because it's like you said, man, and I think you more than anyone else, and I think it's a perfect analogy, and I don't want to sort of keep going back to it, but as you know, every day in your life, man, I mean, like the point you just made, we're all the same. It doesn't care whether you're 60 billion in the in your bank account, or you're a humble person. As you know, at the end of the day, man, we're all just wake up, we eat and we shit. And it's people like
Exactly.
you that clean the shit up and go, man, do you know what? We're all just shit machines. That's all we all
I
are,
mean,
man.
that's it. That's all we do, and actually, we actually eat it again. So we're actually eating each other's shit, believe it or not. If you know
Mm.
how the whole process works, it's incredible. But I won't get you into details on how the septic industry works because that's how I do my 9 to 5, making my money. That's not my passion. That's just how I make my money.
So I mean, so obviously, I mean, I mean, obviously, you're working, you're doing with, what you're doing with your divisive and stuff like that. Is there any other sort of, like I say, if we could, if you could have the time and the ability, is there any sort of other, sort of concepts and products you kind of would love to build? And I mean,
We
I'd love to
actually,
see.
Lou and I have many, more than a few ideas on privacy products, on certain, servers that were hacked, on pictures being released, of celebrities, how to beat that, um, came out with, I don't want to give too many ideas away. I mean,
Hmm.
it's I have to tread lightly here,
Hmm.
but a way to protect you from law enforcement when you get pulled over every day, from cops who like to bend the rules just to meet their quota, So able to actually, because I mean, the camera's the great equalizer. You can't lie from what the camera shows. So it being the truth holder, when used as a tool against law enforcement. I mean, not against, but you know, they use it as a tool toward us to incriminate us when necessary to support their charges against us. So I feel it necessary to use it against them to support our innocence when needed. So the idea is in thought to use an app to protect individuals who are encountering everyday law enforcement or who feel they are, you know, unjustly provoked or profiled, should I say? And that's all I can say about that right now because I don't want to let too much out of the bag yet.
No, no, I think this is again, we're tapping into something that, again, I don't think many people have really understood. And again, I think you skip 10 years down the line and people look back and go, what? You didn't understand that? But I don't think many people really understand. And maybe I think the perfect example of what we've seen, with what's gone on in America last year, the whole thing with the whole Black Lives Matters and stuff. I mean, that's come around because people have got phones, and that's the point I'm trying to make. Everybody's got that power in their hands. They've got the ability to turn the camera back onto them and say, right, we're gonna show to the world what you're doing.
Yeah,
And at the moment, this is what I love about the Safe Network and stuff like this, because at the moment they can put middlemen to let that stop that information going out. But once you've got a network that's launched that they've got no control on, they can't put middlemen and say you can't put that information out. Again, people are going to really wake up and go, "Wow, we've got some powerful tools in our hand because we can turn the light back onto them instead of us being shunned into the corner and always felt that we're guilty and we're under the. No, we can turn the corner and say, hey, you haven't got the right to do this. This contravenes a universal rule, which is don't harm
mhm,
other people. And
exactly.
this is what I think this is what I'm trying to say. I think a few of us right now are understanding this, and like I say, I think skip 10 years down the line, people will go back and go, oh, why? How did people not realize what they had in their hands? I don't know how you feel about that.
Well, I mean, I could go on and on about the history of the smartphone, about the technology. iPhone being the first, and being subjected to archaic language of Objective C, and being restricted to limited background running processes, and having to, you know, limit their background running processes to extend their battery life to fool the end user into thinking they have a superior product when they actually don't. Android, which actually came out later and is more superior because it was based on Java, which is way more flexible and superior of a language, and you're able to actually do multiple background running processes while maintaining longer battery life. I mean, it's just, I can go on and on about the smartphone. I mean, you can see how the iPhone, development team, they're actually scrambling to create a new language-based platform to support technology because technology's progressed so far as processing and background running processes to where Objective C and C is such an archaic language that it can't handle the RAM processing that's necessary. So um, you have, people out there that are iPhone crazy. I think iPhone is limited. Android, it's Linux based. You're Java. You're
Hmm.
flexible,
Hmm.
and it's freedom. Yeah, you have malware out there, but you know what? Here's much more scary. At least I have third party software out there that's able to tell me when I have malware, where your iPhone users are limited to only iPhone telling you if you have malware. And that's just like they're monopolizing the industry, and you're reliant onto what they say. And that's Big Brother within itself, if you ask me. You have no choice with iPhone. That's scary. That is big scary. I mean, it's been proven that iPhone can be hacked time and time again. The iCloud, what a joke. I mean, what's a cloud? Does anybody know? It's a server. It's a server. A cloud is another name.
Hmm.
Language for a server. Does it make you feel safe that someone says it's in a cloud? Why? Because I can't reach it. I have to fly a jet up there to get your data because it's floating in a cloud somewhere. No, it's in a server. Servers get
Hmm.
so you know iPhone. That's my opinion. So we could go on and on about that. I mean, that's my preference is Android.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's. I mean, I think it's hilarious. It's almost a reflection of us as a species of human beings. You get people get into teams, don't you? Like I'm team iPhone, I'm team. And it's like, did you realise that this technology we're going to look back in 10 years' time? Like the idea of a little, it's all going to be melded. I don't know. I can't see the future, but we're not far away. Where the idea of us walking around with this kind of plasticky thing that's got a little screen on it, it's just going to seem so obsolete. We're going to,
It's going to
I
be
don't
Star
know.
Trek. It's going to be
Yeah,
beam me up, Scotty. Star Trek. Tap your iPhone.
yeah, yeah. Well, do you know what I mean? It was. I don't know how aware you are of Magic Leap and stuff like that. Have you heard of that kind of technology? If you wear Magic Leap.
No, I'm not aware of that actually.
Oh, Magic Leap it's one of the sort of subsidiaries of Google, and it's a technology. Now, again, at the moment, you can go onto YouTube or just do some research. Just put in Magic Leap, and you'll see it. And again, at the moment, the stuff they got out is basically saying this is a demonstration. But the idea of it is that on some of the videos you see, like you see a little girl and she's got this a little ballerina on her hand dancing around, and it's completely like she's looked in it from every angle. There's one with a dolphin comes out of a the latest one they put out was a couple of weeks ago was
3D hologram.
again. Yeah, it looked like there was kids in the school, just your average basketball court in everyday American school. Everyone sat around, and out of the floor comes this giant blue whale, and it splashes down, and people are like this, and so that's what I'm saying. We're going to go down some strange rabbit holes in the next few years. So
Gaming. That would make it gaming. That would that's real virtual gaming, and that's where I started my passion into glitching and hacking first person shooter games on Xbox and so forth. But that's for a different conversation, man. That's we'll have to use that for a different episode on Xbox Xbox to a Linux box. But that's for the old school gamers, I guess.
well, yeah, I mean, well, we could. That's another rabbit hole we could definitely spend hours talking about because I think they're. So the point I was trying to make is I think it's hilarious that people get into teams about everything, and what they miss is how fast everything is around them is progressing around them, and that's what I'm saying. I think both angles. I think because everything regresses so fast that like you said, people. I'm so with you that people they've become. And I don't like to use the word, but they've become fat, lazy cows. They just, they have, and we've all
Funny,
just been bred into. No, I mean, in every sense, man, we've been bred into this complacency, and it stems in everything. It stems across artwork, musicians, and everything. There's this the mode we are in at the moment because technology's progressed so much, and because it can do so much for you, and because we can become so, like I say, fattened up and lazy. It comes out into the whole industry. And the worst thing that's happened is that everybody's forgotten that, you know, to do anything it's about hard work. And as you know, like you were saying, you're building this up. You haven't got a crew of 1,000.
It's about awareness, know and knowledge, go out there, research. If you don't believe that, the technology out there to open your camera and your microphone while you're not aware is available, the average person can install it on your phone. Your spouse who's jealous of you can install it on your phone. You can get infected with malware by clicking on a simple link, installing it, some type of malicious app on your phone that requires the access to your cam or your mic. It's out there. So, uh, just Divasive is another layer of protection that is necessary to warn off apps, malicious apps, hackers, big government, big corporations from spying on you. I advise you to get it. It's free, 3-day trial. Get it for Android, get it for PC. Um, Try it today. Try it today. You'll be happy you did. You're going to find out a lot, as it's going to give you control of your complete device. Complete control. And I have to say goodnight because my girlfriend's getting mad. She's calling me to bed. So it's
No,
getting
no,
late.
man, no. No, and I think that's just to wrap this up, man. I think it's a perfect analogy. And this is how I would describe, what you just said there. Is from an artistic point of view, or how I see it as creativity. It's basically, it's like the Matrix film when we'll go back to, but, it's like the red pill and the blue pill. But once you swallow it, like you say, once you store that app on your phone, it's a wake up moment, and you never ever go back. And that's how I would describe what you want, man. And I would recommend everybody go out there and swallow that red pill and wake yourself up.
I really
Man,
I really appreciate it. It was good
no,
talking
no,
to you.
no, man. And like I say, it's been, mate. Thank you for giving me as much time as you have tonight, man. And apologies to your girlfriend because I don't want to hold you back from that, man. Because as much as it is, as much love's more important than the conversation about future technologies.
Appreciate it, man.
So, but like I say, man, just to quickly let people know where can they reach out and find you. You mentioned the website. I mean, where can they find you on Twitter and stuff?
Well, they can go reach us out through the website. Go to devasive.com. You can find our Facebook links, our Twitter links. You can find our Google Play links, and you can find the PC download link. 3-day free trial for Android and PC. Get it today to protect your privacy. It's definitely needed. You need to get it now.
Perfect, man. Well, thank you very much for your time, man. And like I say, it's been an absolute pleasure. And we'll definitely have to get you back on because there's definitely lots we could talk about. But anyway, from early morning here in
Special thanks
Scotland.
out. Special thanks out to the Future 10 Central crew, John McAfee, Black Cert, Demon Saul. You guys, thanks for being a part of us. We enjoy your support. We enjoy being part of your guys' crew. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I think it definitely a shout out, and I'm sure Dale with me. It's a definite shout out to Joanna. And from that, I'm going to say, life is people, people.